be careful not to press this button while you're working. It could send current through the controller, and it could potentially get you shocked. So to fix your loose trigger buttons on your Dualsense controller, you're going to need your Dualsense controller, the spring, your pry tool, a pair of small thin tweezers, a pair of padded tweezers, a 00 Phillips head screwdriver, and a tray to keep your screws in, or a piece of paper where you can outline the Dualsense controller. To start off, grab your Dualsense controller and your pry tool. Go to the handles, use your pry tool, and push into the edge down here, and out, up and out, and then pull on this black thing until you hear 2 clicks, or 1. Don't keep pulling on it. Do the same to the other side. After that, grab the 2 pieces now hanging off the handles, put your thumbs and your fingers where mine are, and then pull up till you hear the click, then pull towards you, then you can pull out, lift up and pull out, and then you have this casing off. After you do that, there should be screws down here by the handles, which are now exposed because the black thing's off. You can then use your Phillips head screwdriver and take those screws out. Now, this time you're going to need your pry tool again, and you're going to need to come to the L1, R1 buttons. Take your pry tool and push down in the center of the L1 button, and then pry up slowly. That can hit your face like it did for me, so just be careful. You might want to wear like glasses or something. But there's the L1 button. Do the same for the other side. It should come off typically calmer like that, like R1 did. And then there should be 2 screws exposed. Now take your Phillips head and start taking those screws out. They should not fall into the casing of the controller. These screws are the same as the handle screws, so you can mix them together if you would like. Now that you've taken out the 4 screws needed, come down here to the headphone jack. There should be 2 clips that you will need to just unsnap. I've already opened this controller, so you will not hear the snap. Now with that done, come to the back of the controller, put your pointer finger here and here, and then use your thumb to push up right there. Typically what helps is taking your pry tool and getting it into this crevice here, and then getting it all the way to the end. or close to the end. And then opening the controller by using that. You'll hear a click whenever that happens. That's because this is part of the casing as well. So that just came off. You do the same for the other side. Now that both have clicked, you can go back to the back of the controller and lift forward and up at the same time, and the back panel will be off. Here's the back of the controller. Here's the battery. You don't have to take it out, but if you do not feel comfortable with it, you can. That right there is the power connector, battery connector. So just be careful to not pull up on the connector like on the motherboard. Just literally pull up on this top half of it. Here is the spring that is most likely the reason why your trigger button is loose. Whenever mine was loose, this spring, or the spring over here, you can see it right there, was completely broken. If it is, however, still there, you can take your new spring, or springs in my case. Here's what they look like. There's no specific pattern to them, so it does not matter as long as whenever you put it in, like how I'm going to show here in a minute, it sits like that. Now to take this one out, you're going to need your long tweezers. You're going to grab at the part at the trigger button, pull down, lift up, and it should just take itself out. Here's the old one compared to the new ones. Now your controller trigger will still kick back without it, but it's with less resistance, so you'll get false inputs. One way you can do this is by putting the spring in like this and getting this part into the groove under the controller spring. If you can see it covering the spring whenever I halfway press it down. You're going to want to take your padded tweezers, grab the very, very edge of the spring, lift up, and a little bit farther past this clip right here. And then put back down and let go. When you're done, it should look like this. Now that the spring is back on, you can grab your controller backing, put these two top parts in first, and then push down on these. Now you see these clips down here, you're going to want to put back onto the thingies on the controller. And then you're going to want to get your screws. You're going to want to screw the screws back into the top part here. Then you're going to want to take your R1 button, put it inside here, and then press down. and then do the same for the L1. Now you're going to want to take your screws, your last two, and put them in the holes at the bottom here, at the handle. And then you're going to want to take your black cover and look at these 2 points, put them inside these holes here, push up, do not keep going until they both look like that along the LED. Then you can push down here, 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 and then here. And then your controller is done. Thank you for watching this repair on this controller. If this helped, make sure to leave a comment saying it helped, so that way I know that I am doing the right thing as far as what kind of videos I'm putting out there. Subscribe if you like content like this.